Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to a Monday night edition of the Big D podcast. Before I introduce tonight's special guest, please subscribe, like, comment, share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. We've got plenty of fantasy football content on the way. We've got an episode coming out on Wednesday, and hopefully we've got a U.S. Open theme episode coming out next week. So, joining us from where are you tonight?
Going for two.
No, what area? What area?
Oh, my fault. So I live in Pennsylvania.
Joining us tonight is my friend Chris, aka the Commish FF, as his Twitter handle goes. Chris, it's June. You know what that means? Time for some fantasy football discussion, right?
Yeah, right on, man. This season is creeping up real quick.
Yeah, sooner or later. Yeah, I think minicamp starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe so. So I'm excited to see some of these players out there, see what's going to be happening this season.
Well, speaking of exciting, when I heard the news of Julio Jones being traded to the Tennessee Titans, I bet people in Nashville became excited.
Yeah, I bet they were thrilled. I mean, he was down to I feel like 8 different teams, but um, that's a good spot for him, man. The fans in Nashville are real excited this week.
Yeah, it's interesting. Last week I said I thought Julio would make the most sense in Nashville because they
Yeah.
really needed a number at 1 or 1A because Corey Davis could just blow the top off defenses, and Tannehill needs wide receivers. He's not going to stretch the field. He needs more playmakers.
Right, he does. And with
So,
Davis leaving, it left a big hole there for that offense, and Johnny Smith leaving. So,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
they need to do something to help Tannehill.
So, do you think Julio is an old 32, or do you think he just suffered one injury-plagued season?
Um, he's had a couple seasons with some injury. He's missed some time. He should be kind of fresh, you would think. Not playing a lot last year. Um, I think he still has some time to be an efficient receiver and be good out there for the Titans. Hopefully, he stays on the field so we can see some more of that Julio magic we've seen in the past. But I think he's got some gas in the tank still.
Uh, how will Julio fit in that offense? Because obviously everybody thinks it's a run-heavy offense with Derrick Henry, but as Ryan Tanner's shown the back half of 19 and 20 and all of 2020, he's more than capable of throwing the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this opens up the passing game even more for Tannehill and the Titans. Um, yeah, I mean, you can stack the box on Derrick Henry. I mean, with Davis leaving, sure, Davis had a pretty good year last year. Um, but I'm thinking, with Julio and then AJ Brown out there, like you can't put 8 guys in the box to try to stop Henry. So it's going to free up something, whether it's Henry in the running game, which he doesn't even need anymore, open space. Um, but I think he's gonna open up the passing game is gonna be really good. I'm really interested to see how well and how efficient Tannehill is going to be with Julio Jones there.
So, from a fantasy standpoint, how does the Julio Jones trade affect not just Julio, but A.J. Brown as a wide receiver, Brian Tannehill as a quarterback, and maybe most importantly, Derrick Henry at tailback? How do you think the Julio trade affects all four of them, positively or negatively?
I think it's for fantasy perspective and just pure numbers alone. I think it hurts Julio the most as far as points. You know what I mean? He's still going to be an excellent receiver. He's going to still put up points here and there, but I think AJ Brown is freed up even more. Derrick Henry is freed up even more, and Tannehill's going to be more efficient than we've seen the last couple of years, which is kind of a crazy thing to think. Uh, so yeah, I'm all in on Tennessee Titan offensive weapons this year.
Here's the interesting question for Derrick Henry. Does the fact that now Tennessee's got two legitimate number ones will make Tennessee a throwing offense, or will it still mean Derrick Henry gets 20, 25, 30 touches a game?
I don't think they need him to get 30 touches. I mean, he hasn't. People think I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I remember looking at this when I started my rankings, and Derrick Henry didn't really put up crazy touches until like a year or two ago. So it's not like he's put up, 1,200 carries in the last two seasons. He spread it out in the first couple of years of his career. Um, but I think Henry's still going to get hit. I think this is still a run first team, which just sets up that passing game when they need to. Big shots down the field with probably Brown and Julio too, but big playability on the passing game for sure. But this is going to be a run first team, so maybe we'll see some more Darrington Evans this year. Give Henry a little bit of a break, but I'm not worried about Henry's production at all.
Now, here's an interesting question. What could Ryan Tannehill be a top 7, 8 quarterback fantasy wise?
In many weeks, I feel like he might be. He might be. I still think there's games possibly where they run the ball like 40 times, and they don't have to throw it a ton. So there's going to be games where Tannehill may not have 20 fantasy points, but there's going to be games where he runs for a touchdown or two. He throws for 3 or 4 touchdowns. There's going to be games where he's like a top 5 quarterback. But overall for the whole season, 7 or 8, maybe not. It could be close, but I think I could say top 10. I think he's safe 8 to 10 at least. It's close. I got to fish out these projections now. These things are happening, but he's going to be up there.
So does the Julio trade change your view on Tennessee's chance to win the AFC South? Because I've gone back and forth whether or not it does. Because Tennessee's offense was not the problem last year, but the Titans couldn't stop a wet paper bag on defense.
They can't. I think they're more equipped now to handle a shootout. So if they got to go, with the Colts, the Colts are a solid defense. The offense is going to be pretty good this year too. But if they get into shootouts where they got to score 30, 40 points in a game, I think they're going to be able to do that even more so this year than last year. So, I mean, I know basically you're taking Corey Davis, putting in Julio. I think that's an upgrade for sure. Jonnu Smith is gone. But he wasn't that effective last year. He had kind of an off year. I mean, Anthony Ferkser emerged as everyone's least favorite name to say, I feel. But I mean, I don't think it hurts their chances, obviously, but I think it's gonna be very interesting. I mean, they're definitely going to be a contender to win that division and in the AFC in general.
How many teams would you put in front of Tennessee? I mean, obviously, you'd think the easy ones would be Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cleveland, but how many other teams do you think? I mean, could Tennessee be battling with Baltimore, Indianapolis? I really like the Chargers this year. Maybe Miami, New England. Is Tennessee a playoff team?
Yeah, I think they're a playoff team. I think they're in the playoffs again. I know Miami is probably going to be up there. I mean, yeah, you got Kansas City, Buffalo for sure. Yeah, even Cleveland now is probably still ahead of Tennessee. But if you got to talk about the Colts, it's kind of probably come down. I wonder if it comes down to that division winner. Baltimore too. I can't forget about Baltimore. You mentioned. It's going to be interesting to see the AFC North and the South if two teams make the playoffs in those divisions. With the Browns probably winning that. You can't even say the Browns are going to win it for sure. Baltimore still may come in and take down that division.
Can never underrate a John Harbaugh team. And by the way, that Lamar Jackson guy is half decent.
He's pretty good fantasy and NFL wise. I mean,
yeah.
Someone said he should have been a tight end, but him and Tannehill are. I can't say similar, but those offenses are very similar to me. But Lamar Jackson obviously is much better on with his feet, but Tannehill does a pretty good job too on his feet. And it's like Baltimore is like the Titans on like steroids as far as offense goes. Like they're a little bit more run heavy with the quarterback, but I'll take Henry over Dobbins and Gus Edwards all day.
I don't know. I think J.K. Dobbins will be really good this year. Finally have the backfield sort of to himself, hopefully.
Yeah, I think was it Edwards injury last year, and I had a buddy of mine who was just
Mark Ingram.
He should just retire, but he had a good career. But I remember last year I had a buddy of mine just traded Dobbins away, and I said, "This is the week that he's gonna he has a chance to start. This is where we're gonna see Dobbins become the starter for this team, the number one running back." And sure enough, he finished up last year really strong, and I look forward to seeing him this year. He's not going to get 25 carries a game because Gus Edwards is going to be he's going to get his share. Justice Hill will probably get a few here and there, but he's very efficient with the ball. So, there's nothing wrong with their running backs either. They got a very good running game as well.
So obviously there are two sides to every trade. So how do you think the Julio trade affects Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts? Because if you ask me, I don't think Calvin Ridley will be a top 10 receiver this year. Am I crazy? Could it be a top 5?
So are you concerned that all the attention is going to be on Calvin now?
I actually think all the attention's going to be on Kyle Pitts because these defenses know how good he is.
Yeah, and you don't usually see a tight end come out and be that successful, which kind of keeps me hesitant. But everything you read and people are saying is Pitts is not your normal tight end. He's basically a receiver, just bigger, and he's crazy athletic. I had Ridley last year. Last year I had Ridley and Julio both ranked in my top 10, and my friends call me crazy if I'm Ridley in the top 10, and it worked out. Ridley, I think he's borderline top 5 for sure. But there's so many good guys, so I still think he's top 10. I don't think this hurts him that much at all. I'm not going to say he's going to get tons more targets. There's a lot of vacated targets there, but Pitts is going to get his share more than probably what Hurst got last year. I even like guys like Russell Gage, who had I think almost like 90 targets last year, very quietly, had mid 80s, I believe. So we'll see what he can do with a bigger role as well. So definitely helps some other guys around Julio around the Atlanta offense that's still left, the Ridleys and Gages and Pitts of the world.
How many wideouts would you take in front of Calvin or Ridley this year? Because obviously there are 3 or 4 big names I think of. DeAndre Hopkins, Cheeto, DK Metcalf. Am I leaving out anyone?
I'm not huge on DK Metcalf. I'm probably still going Ridley over DK. Hopkins, you probably kind of have to take him first. Who else did you say? Did you say Adams?
Cheetah and Devontae Adams. Yeah, I knew I'd forget somebody.
Tyreek Hill, I agree with Cheetah. I do agree Tyreek Hill is probably number 1, number 2 overall. Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think that could be a whole other episode. But but I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing. I really don't think he's coming. I'm so torn when he's going to come back. So if I was drafting right now, I'm afraid of what Adams is going to be with like a Jordan Love.
I'm afraid if Aaron Rodgers is not in Green Bay, Jordan Love's not the quarterback. I think it's going to be Blake Bortles. I think the Packers know they should crazy Jordan Love pick.
I heard somewhere, I don't know where I was listening to or what it was on, or I read it somewhere, I don't know. But they say like if he gets traded to like Denver, like Drew Lock will probably be like the quarterback.
Oh gosh.
For the Packers. So
gosh.
That would be crazy. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, but unless they do love Jordan Love, I don't know. Maybe they like what they have there, and that's why they're willing to just let Rodgers not show up, and they're not going to, expect him to play. I don't know. So that could be a whole nother episode, man. That saga is crazy. So yeah, Adams. I don't know. I'm not guaranteed to take Adams over Ridley. I'm not right in Dynasty. I mean, I probably go Ridley anyway, just because he's younger. But
could it be if Aaron Rodgers is there for the whole 17-game season you would take Adams,
Absolutely.
but with a big asterisk.
Yeah, big asterisk there. Is he there 17 games? I don't think so. Or maybe I don't. I really just don't know. I really just I can't even pick a side. I go back and forth all day long, thinking about is he going to be there? I'm like, yeah, he'll be there. He'll show up eventually. Then it's like, no, he's going to be stubborn and just sit out. He's not going to show up.
So
So
Aaron
I don't
Rodgers
know.
give up what?
Ask me tomorrow. I'll have a different answer. But
So
it's one
Aaron
of those tough
Rodgers,
ones, man.
so Aaron Rodgers would give up what umpteen $1 million and become the full-time Jeopardy host.
That would be crazy. If he was football for Jeopardy, that's something that'd be probably more shocking than Andrew Luck retiring.
Or Brett Favre retiring 15 times.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Brett Favre.
So
Yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say no. That Packers, that fan base, that organization, it's very impressive. The fact that they've had two quarterbacks in the last 30 years of their existence is just it's just mind blowing to me. I don't think people really think about the consistency that they've had in that position for so long. You never see that. You never see that anywhere else.
How about this? The Steelers have. How about this? Only three guys have coached the Steelers in the last 50 some odd years, and two of them are in the Hall of Fame.
And I was thinking the same thing. When you think of that, it goes to what you don't see is the coaching in Pittsburgh, where they've had two coaches. I think my entire life. I don't know how old you are. I'm in my mid-30s.
28.
Okay, yeah, I got some years on you, but I feel like I've only seen two coaches in Pittsburgh my entire life.
You might have seen the last year or two of Chuck Noll.
Yeah, I was born in the early '80s, so probably.
So where do you see? Where do you see Kyle Pitts now as a tight end? Could he be a top? I don't know. Am I crazy for saying this? Could he be a top 5 tight end? Or am I going off the deep end a little bit?
No, I think you have a lot of people on your side if you said that. I think if you put on like Twitter or somewhere and said he's top 5, you're going to have a million people saying you're right. Um, it's close for me. Forgetting that he's a rookie, just the opportunity that he has, I think 5 or 6 is very safe. Obviously, you have Kittle, Waller, and Kelsey as your top 3. I'm really excited. I'm kind of big on Hawkinson this year.
Ooh.
As like maybe my 4. I haven't finished all my rankings yet, but right now he looks like he's up there. Just because Jared Goff has used his tight ends before, and who else is freaking there in Detroit? So
Swift.
Well, he's fantastic too. I'm big on him this year too. But Gesicki, I'm a fan of. I'm a Penn State fan, so I'm kind of like I'm also a Jets fan, so I'm anti-Dolphins, but I do have like a soft spot in my heart for Gesicki, and I do think he's going to have a big year. But outside of those guys, for me, I think Pitts is at least at the 5 or 6. I think I don't think there's anyone else that has the opportunity to be up there like he does.
Yeah, and I think Kyle Pitts has got a chance in a 17-game season. I think Kyle Pitts could be the first rookie tight end with 1,000 receiving yards.
Yeah, and if he put up double-digit touchdowns, I wouldn't be surprised either. He's got like an 8-foot plus wingspan. I think it was.
He's 6'6", 245, and runs 4.4. I mean, yeah. I don't think Travis Kelce runs that fast.
No, and you've seen tight ends in Atlanta. Hooper a couple of years ago put up a big season. They like to use the tight ends down in the red zone, and because Julio couldn't score in the red zone. But let's be real. Julio was never a touchdown guy. So I think when you get inside the 20, whenever Atlanta can get that far, which should be pretty often, Pitts is going to put up a lot of touchdowns. I think I'm not surprised, double digits for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in Atlanta and Nashville this year. And speaking of happening, I see you're wearing an Islander shirt, so you must be watching the game at the TD Garden tonight.
Yeah, the game is on in the background. They got a 5-3 lead now with 11 minutes left.
Mm,
So I must have missed a couple goals. We started, it was 4-2, so I missed 2 goals, but at least we
yeah,
scored one of
Brock,
them.
Brock Nelson scored one for the Islanders, and David Pastrnak scored one for the Bruins.
Yeah, Pasternak scored again. Yeah, I was at game 4 on Saturday night. That's why my voice is a little bit weird. Uh, and Pasternak missed that wide open net that game. It was insane. So I'm like, maybe that'll hurt him. But my friend and I were talking about it, and we're like, man, I hope it doesn't motivate him. And it looks like it motivated him because he's put 2 in tonight on us. So um, really hoping they can pull out this win tonight, go up 3-2, go back to the old barn on Wednesday and finish the D like they did with Pittsburgh and go to round 3 again, back-to-back years. I mean, it's been a long lifetime of being an Islander fan and having some terrible seasons. So I'm really excited that they're even this far again. But the games have been fun. But yeah, I represent my Islanders. Let's finish some business tonight and then Wednesday.
Yeah, the Islanders Bruins series has been a throwback to the '80s. I mean, it's like both teams come to hit.
Yeah, the Islanders been hitting everybody for a few years. You met Matt Martin and Clutterbuck. They put out that fourth line and
I
they
mean,
just
be honest, I'm a Bolts fan. That's what the Casey Cizikas, Carl Clutterbuck, and Matt Martin line's one of my favorite ones to watch
I
because
love it. I feel like Casey is like so tiny, and like it's like the Mighty Ducks with the Bash Brothers, man. When they had they had Fulton Reed and oh man, what the heck's that guy's name? But yeah, he's like this little dude out there.
Dean Portman.
Yes, Dean Portman. Yeah, Dean Portman. Yes, thank you. Casey's out here like trying to make plays, but like Clutterbuck and Martin are like just pitting guys up against the boards. It's so much fun to watch. It's definitely fun.
And trying to take on the whole Iceland team by themselves.
Yeah,
It's
these
not
guys would do it.
Iceland. In this case, it's the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, these guys would do it, man. They don't care. So yeah, this team's fun to watch, especially when they play well. It gets kind of frustrating when they're not doing so hot. But yeah, I love it.
So, what would it be for the Islanders to potentially hold on tonight and win one Wednesday night, knowing you'll have a couple more games at Nassau Coliseum before playing at Belmont Park next year? I mean, Nassau Coliseum feels like an NHL rink. I mean, the Barclays Center felt more like a basketball rink. It looked too big for hockey.
That place was built for like concerts, basketball. I'm so glad I got to go back to the Coliseum at least one more time. And it could have been the last game there. If they would have lost tonight, that would have been it. As a kid, I spent many, many nights at Islander games. I've been to like the circus there, Harlem Globetrotters. I've been to like a million things at the Nassau Coliseum. So as long as we can keep this going, that'd be great just to see more games at the Coliseum. I never want to see it. I mean, they left. It was kind of sad to begin with, but at least Belmont for me will be a closer drive. It took me 4 hours to get to the Coliseum on Saturday afternoon. So that's the only plus side for me is less traffic. But I hope they can go on one more round at least, hopefully 2 rounds, and maybe I can get a shot at going to one more game. Like that would be insane. But if not, it was an honor to go one more time and got to see that place rock for my last time.
Can you get tickets for Game 6 in a couple of nights?
It's funny. I got these tickets for free. One of my best friend's dad has a contact with work and stuff, and just happened to say, "Hey, can you get tickets for this game?" And we don't want to abuse that privilege. You know what I mean? And we joked about it. All right, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. But I don't think that'll happen. We're kind of hoping if they go another round, maybe we could try one more time. But you never know. You never know. I might even pay for my own tickets if I have to. I don't mind.
Yeah.
For that, it's worth it.
I was just thinking, like, is there like a COVID protocol where you can't like attend back-to-back games in New York, or is that gone by the wayside now?
I haven't heard that, so I don't know.
Because I heard when like the Bills hosted fans for both playoff games that Bills fans could not attend both games. They could only attend either the wild card round or the divisional round.
Oh wow, yeah. I didn't even know that. I don't, and in this case, I don't know how they would track that. I mean, you have to bring your vaccination card or a negative test to the Coliseum to get in. But they don't they don't have your info. They don't keep it on file. So I don't think there's a way they know.
Yeah, hopefully the Islanders can hold on, and I can't wait to hear that bone shake on Wednesday night because I already hear that bone shaking.
Yeah, it's such a great feeling being there. But even watching it on TV, it makes you feel proud to be an Islander fan when you're watching it and like you hear the chanting and the screaming over the announcers, because that place is shaking and it is extremely loud for sure. I took a video and I think I did like Snapchat and I sent it to my wife because I got her involved in the playoffs here, watching every game with me. Um, so I took a video of it and I haven't listened to it on my own, but I was like, you got to hear how loud this place is. After a goal, after the Mayfield fight, I think I did it on. It just gets wild.
Was that the wild? Were you? Were you at the? Was that the Taylor Hall fight?
Yes, it was. This first fight in 10 years, I saw it with my own two eyes. I was there. I had a buddy from the Going for Two. We were in like a group chat, and he was messaging me, like he was messaging in the group chat while I was there, and I checked it. He goes, "Oh, you witnessed the first Hall fight in 10 years." And I'm like, I didn't even know. I didn't think Hall has been playing 10 years already. Like this time flies, man. But yeah, it was the once in a lifetime chance. It feels like to see that.
Yeah, I was thinking Taylor. Yeah, Taylor Hall fighter, not Call Clutterbug fighter.
Right.
I mean, the start of Game 4 looked better than the boxing matches in Miami last night.
Yeah, right. I mean, what was there? 4 major penalties in the first 10 minutes of the game on Saturday.
Yeah, full fighting penalties, and they were all legitimate. There were no flukes.
No, and they dropped gloves and they were old
They
school
earned
brawling.
5 minutes in the sin bin.
Yeah, no, it was cool to see. And yeah, I missed the fights in Miami last night, but I hear they weren't that great. So I'm glad I went to bed and got some rest before work today, and rather than stay up late to watch those boxing matches.
So thank you for hopping on, and hopefully the Islanders can prevail, and maybe we get a rematch last year with the Islanders and Bolton the next round. That'd be interesting. Might need to make a friendly wager on it.
I'm down, man. I'm down, Dylan. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get there first, and then we'll talk. I don't want to jinx nothing.
All right. Good luck.
Appreciate it, man. You too.